Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe and Ryan. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang. I'm Joe.
I'm Ryan.
It's true. I've known him for a while. He is definitely Ryan.
That's what they call me.
Yeah. So, guys, sorry for missing last week. My entire family got COVID.
Yep. There was the plague going on over here. Knock on wood. I was able to avoid it. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we were doing, not great. It's COVID. It's terrible. But I just liked the never having COVID, because this was the first time my wife and I have had COVID. We never got it through the pandemic. We never had it for the last 3 or 4 years, And it's just, I remember I was like the unicorn. Like, I was the one guy you knew who never got COVID. Like, I walked into a room and they were just like, why does Joe have a weird glow? It's because he's COVID free, never had it. When all of us die in 50 years from all these side effects, that guy.
Like a COVID gamma radiation.
I was like, hello, my children. If you should have just listened to me, you never would have had COVID. I'm smarter than you.
Blessed art ye who are immune to the COVID.
Yeah. No such luck. Yeah, we got it. So the baby was up for like 2 days screaming, and my wife brings him into bed because, what do you do? And the baby's doing somersaults and crawling over us and screaming, and it was the worst nights
Just
ever.
like crawling out of their skin, right? Like yeah, dude, I know exactly. To me, it was the big one for me, my kids, that was RSV. That was a nightmare. Like, oh my God, that was bad. Like,
yeah, I hear that.
COVID
I hear
was
that's
a bitch.
really bad.
Yeah, dude. Nah, for real. But no, I'm glad you guys are feeling better. It's remember everybody, wash your hands. Cause
and then turn the page. And then wash your hands.
Turn the page. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. That's how you handle comic books, people.
Rocco's Modern Life. Anyways, but no, literally, I was reading an article. I can't tell you where from, but it says, as far as medical science can tell, it's because we're disgusting again. Everybody just started not washing their hands again, and everything. Everyone's like kind of
Well, I mean,
everyone like that's
you
a
don't
lot
wash
of this.
your hands for 35 years. You do it for a year because everyone's dying, and then you're like, I'm gonna go back to just eating shit.
A habit, dude. It's like what was it? What was it?
I actually don't get it because I've always washed my hands.
Right.
I'm not cleanlier than the average person. I don't think. I'm just saying, like, do people really just not wash their hands?
I literally read an article where they're saying that they think it's like from an increased amount of uncleanliness, just people being bad hygiene and shit like that is contributing to the fact that we've got this like new wave of everybody I know is sick. Like when you were sick, like tons of coworkers weren't at work. Like everybody's sick.
Well, it's on top of that. I found out that I had a what is it called? An ultrasound this morning, and I have an umbilical hernia.
Ooh.
So that's a hernia that mostly affects babies. I've always gotten
You're
weird.
my baby, Joe.
Well, I'm just saying I've always gotten weird stuff, man. I had shingles when I was 11 years old. That's like an old person disease. That's a chicken pox when you're in your 60s.
So in theory, when you get like older,
I'm Benjamin Button when it comes to diseases.
You're gonna like grow a whole new set of teeth.
I'm gonna die with gills and a tail.
Yes.
Yeah.
we have transversed the human race at this point. Joe is something completely new.
Well, anyways. Just so you guys know, if you are new listeners to Earthling Entertainment, what we do is a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy, sometimes hauntings, sometimes cryptozoology, then followed by a segment called Ryan's Disclosure Discussion, which is all about aliens.
UAP of all kinds,
all that fun
interdimensional,
stuff.
Any kind of thing where it comes to, what else, are we alone kind of thing.
I mean, ancient alien theorists believe.
Yes.
And the latter half of the episode then is pretty much we do some kind of stuff about movies. I don't want to say we're like a news show because we do cover articles, but we also sometimes play games. We also sometimes do a movie review. It's just entertainment, the entertainment industry. Sometimes it's music and video games, but that's our show. So we have the spooky, the creepy, the aliens, and then the entertainment because we're Earthling Entertainment.
Everything, all in between. Always make sure if you want us to cover something, you got something you want to say,
hit us up on the Facebook.
Please, shoot us a message and we'll definitely add it to the podcast.
Yep. All right, guys. So, one other thing is if you want to support the show, download the episodes. That's the best way to support us.
Yes, yes. Downloading is apparently the only way that we can defeat the almighty algorithm.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, quite. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, and we're jumping into our first segment, spooky stuff.
They might knock on your door on a late wintry night. You may see them approaching your car while you are waiting at the signal or a gas station.
Dun, dun,
It,
dun, dun, dun.
it might seem like they need help, or they might just stand still for no reason. These children do not look threatening. They would want to get in your house or your car.
Yeah, that's fucking threatening.
They will be persistent. Suddenly, you will notice something is not right about these children. Their eyes, pure black from lid to lid, dead black orbs devoid of sclera or iris, will chill up your spine. You will finally come across the black-eyed children.
Wow. So yeah, this is a fun phenomenon. I love this one. I actually did a short film. I think it's on our Facebook about it a few years ago, and it's just this creepy thing that is. It's mostly in the United States. I haven't heard many stories of it, or actually any of it happening anywhere else, except like there was one thing I think that happened in England, which I believe the article we're about to read touches upon. But yes, black-eyed children. Have you heard of this before now?
I've seen it referenced for sure, like on like albums and stuff like that, where yeah, they had the kids with just like black eyes, and yeah, and I've said it before many times on this podcast. Once you like bring a kid into the paranormal, when it's like kids and paranormal, like
It's
laughter in
creepier.
it's creepier. It is just creepier. There's something because there's something so disarming about a child, but then when it's like a ghost or something like that, it's like ah,
Well, it's also because you're a parent. So these
right.
are these are kids around your age, the age of your kids, I mean to say. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
it hits it
it
hits you
hits a
in
different chord.
right, right. You don't know what to do.
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I was watching movies recently. I don't remember which one, so I know that's vague. But the point is, something was happening with the person's child, and it never hit me in a movie before. And now that I have a kid, I was like, oh my god, this is scary. But yeah, all right, guys. So let's jump into the tale of the black-eyed children.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society.
We
Oh,
call this story copyright infringement.
copyright infringement. Black-eyed children, or black-eyed kids, is an urban legend of paranormal creatures that resemble children between the ages of 6 and 16.
Depending on what you find creepier, because teenagers, scary.
Teenagers are terrifying. Are you kidding?
Exactly, yeah.
These creatures, with pale skin and black eyes, like this eyes, like a doll's eyes. Sorry.
Jaws.
Jaws.
Num 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 num
No,
num.
no, no, no.
Water
Me too.
people.
Have reportedly been seen hitchhiking, panhandling, or at the doorsteps of residential homes. A dozen of stories keep circulating, all following a very similar pattern. Kids with eyes completely blacked out appear at people's home or vehicle, knock at the door, and then insist upon getting inside.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a vampire, right?
Well, kinda, yeah. It seems like they do want to, like, that is their ultimate goal is to enter your home or car. You know what I mean? And it's so think about it. You know, you pull over and you get this kid, and they're asking something simple. It's a repeat. They say they're hungry, or they say, "Can I use your phone?" It's always like a really simple kind of request or phrase. But the common factor is they want to get in.
Close the door and call the cops. Trust no one, help no one.
Well, think about it. It's a 5-year-old. He's kind of looking down, right? You're not looking him directly in the eyes because you're like, oh man, he's shy or he's like, he's scared, right? So you're not thinking much of it. And by the time you get him in, it's too late.
And like I said, it's so disarming because if it's like, yeah, if it's a 6-year-old, of course you're gonna be like, oh my god, like, are you okay? Like,
Right, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
It turns out that these black-eyed children are the angler fisher peoples.
I don't know why I don't know why I got a little bit of sling.
You always
Black-eyed
got to
children.
go back to Sling Blade.
Yeah, but I don't know why.
French fried potatoes.
I reckon.
Black-eyed children, continue.
Black-eyed children, I reckon. Anyone who encountered them has almost immediately felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Besides blacked out eyes,
I
these
mean,
yeah,
yeah, if a
well,
kid walks up to you crying and he's scared, I would feel dread.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then they have just blacked out eyes.
Well, yeah, that comes later.
That's pretty petrifying. Uh, these children typically appear normal. Sometimes their attire seems outdated.
Ooh,
In
that's creepy. Comes in dressed like a 1920s kid. Can I use your phone? Like, do
I'm
you know
cold.
what a phone is?
I have to make another Are You Afraid of the Dark reference. I'm cold. Like the weird kid that needed a sweater. It was just a ghost that needed a sweater.
Yeah, just to jump into that real quick. Why did he need his sweater? I mean,
It was in the log. Yeah, I remember. God, I can't believe I can remember this episode so well. But
well,
yes,
I like Are You Afraid of the Dark?
it
So,
creeped
yeah.
the shit out of me when I was a kid.
All
That was a
right,
good
ghost
show.
stories, guys. If someone dies in a terrible way, give them their version of whatever that is. If they starve to death, give them a Cliff Bar.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
got to be a ghostly Cliff Bar.
Give them a Nature Valley bar, and then you can follow the crumbs back to where they've come from.
Ooh.
In extremely unusual instances. Thank you. That was a delayed
That
laugh,
was
but I'll
not
take it.
Well, it wasn't even a segue. You're just like, and back to reading.
And back to reading. People have reported encountering creatures with talon-like feet.
Yeah, I've heard this. This is one of the weirder ones. So, if you see a black-eyed kid, they said, well, that if you look down is kind of a way to make sure you don't get screwed. Because,
all right.
well, no, I mean, basically, yeah, they have like hooves or talons, and it's like the lower part can't change. And this is not every report. This is only like about half of them. And yeah, so that's an interesting thought. Like maybe they are shapeshifters.
It's
You know,
I don't close the door on nothing.
I had a much better point, but then I was looking at you and you were kind of bouncing around and I was wondering if you were listening to me and then I lost complete track of what I was saying. So I blame you for that one.
I'll take it.
All right, fair enough. Black-eyed children.
No one knows where or how these creatures pop up. Conspiracy theories believe that the black-eyed children are aliens trying to reach out to their Earth,
To their Earth?
like to their home planet. I guess is what this means. It's in quotations. Demonologists believe they are children of the devil himself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
People
if
believe
you-
in demons, think they're demons. People believe in aliens, think they're aliens. That tracks.
To each their own.
I think they're chickens who finally evolved past the point of being prey. Now they're the predator.
Remember who you are, and they become the T-Rex once again.
That's what I'm saying, man. Oh, what a fall down the evolutionary ladder. It's like, all right, like if there is a grand universe, let's say the dinosaur god, whatever, and he is just like, all right, you get to be a predator for thousands of millions of years and eat countless species, but it'll come back to you tenfold for your ancestors.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes, poor chickens did get the short end of the evolutionary stick.
Num 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 num
'Cause
num.
they used-
T-Rexes.
I'm pretty convinced that they used to be dinosaurs.
No,
Like,
that's
yeah,
actually the main theory, that the closest relative to a T-Rex is a chicken.
it's so funny.
Like by its body shape.
I did, and I
everything,
saw
yeah.
that meme where it was Mufasa being like, "Remember who you are," but it was a T-Rex and it was a chicken being like, "Bark." But no, that's fucking hilarious. But all right, if I can try to find my spot.
This is why we
here.
give you a pen, Ryan.
Got it. They believe that they are children of the devil himself, and if you let them in, you are allowing the devil to enter your life.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Don't let the devil in.
That's a lesson I'm still learning, you know? They want to enter your home to call their parents. However, upon making eye contact, it seems like there is much sinister plot to the story.
A much more sinister plot, you say?
The plot thickens.
It does. Now it's more of a chowder.
The plot thickens. More chickens.
Chicken corn chowder.
Some people claim that these children have existed since the 1980s.
Stop doing William Shatner.
However, most sources say that the legend originated in 1996 in posts written by a Texas reporter named Brian Bethel, where he wrote about two alleged encounters with the black-eyed children.
Yeah, so this next one they're going to talk about, that's not the traditional one, I'd say, because this one proposes that the whole point of the black-eyed children is to call their parents and to get picked up by their parents, which most of the legends I've heard is why they want to get in your house is completely unknown, and there's always different weird situations. So I don't like how this particular guy, they're like proposing that this is the ultimate goal. I'm just, I don't want to throw that out there, but here's the story.
It feels more just like like a sort of possession. It's a way to get in. It's a way to
Metaphorically get
God knows
into the soul.
who knows, like, right? Like, who are we to guess what is on their list of shit to do? I have no idea.
Damn, I dropped my notebook. Now they're gonna know.
Jumping back in. So here we go. So here's the story. He said that he encountered 2 children in Abilene, Texas, with pale skin and black eyes.
In Texas?
Texas. In 2012, Bethel retold his story on the TV show Monsters and Mysteries in America.
Sounds like a dope show.
It does. He then wrote an article for the Abilene Reporter News where he described his experience again. One of the stories goes like this. In the snowy town, within the middle of nowhere of Vermont, an elderly couple heard the sound of 3 loud knocks on their door. They opened the door and saw 2 children, a boy and a girl. Parents will be here soon. May we come in?
See, that's creepy right off the bat.
The children did not make eye contact and just stood there in the doorway. The elderly couple were hesitant, but after a while, they let the boy and girl inside. The kids settled on the couch while the wife made some hot cocoa, and the husband asked them questions that went unanswered.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
Not gonna answer.
But what are you doing here?
You never know.
Who are your parents?
I don't know.
How they know how to get here?
They do.
Why?
Don't worry about it.
What are you doing?
Don't you worry about what they know.
You like baseball?
I do.
Excellent.
American pastime.
Apple pie.
The wife returned.
That was a terrible sketch.
It was a great sketch. And noticed that her cat was scared and hungry. Sorry, scared and angry with the children.
Scared and
Hungry with the children.
Oh man, those are the 2 worst things to be at the same time.
May we please use the restroom? The wife looked at the kids and she finally saw them. The children's eyes were as black as a starless universe.
Ooh, that is a nice flare there.
Good imagery. Very well. She directed them to the bathroom and returned to her husband, who was covering his face with his hand. Did you see their eyes? The husband then showed her his hand full of blood from a nosebleed.
Bloody nose. So they're radioactive. Radioactive black-eyed children.
It's not good.
Seems like a Saturday morning cartoon.
Need to get the fuck out.
Yeah. That's some scary stuff. You know what they haven't talked about, though, is what their clothes are. And since the story says sometimes their clothes are out of date, I imagine 1930s sailor suits. So this whole story.
With just like a giant red lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. And that weird white hat that's kind of like a beret with like the red.
The Donald Duck.
Yeah.
A sailor.
All right, so now imagine as you're reading that, because that's what I've been imagining.
Well, now I'm screwed because that is what I see.
Excellent.
The power suddenly went out, and the house turned as dark as the kids' eyes.
Ooh.
The wife headed to the restroom and was confronted by the voice of the kids at the end of the hall, uttering, "Our parents are here."
Yeah, that's fucking horrifying at that point.
The kids then exited the house, leaving the door wide open. The wife then noticed that there were 2 men at the end of the driveway. The men were very tall and slender. The wife waved,
Slender men?
but did not receive the same friendly gesture. The 2 men and children then drove away in one car.
All right. Okay. So creepy, right? But see, that seems like one instance. It doesn't seem like the parents are always the ultimate goal. And I don't know if I don't know. That's like not my favorite story because there is more to it. Obviously,
Well,
there's
and it happened in 2012. So I mean, there's not as much surveillance shit back then, but there was surveillance shit back then. So what if that could have been as simple as these parents were criminals? They send their kids to like go into people's houses that way and like put like some kind of bug or some kind of thing inside their house.
We'll keep reading because there's some more details that we would like to talk
Like
about.
to talk about like things that wouldn't be parent like looking at it, rationally. Like maybe
Well,
that's
yeah,
what it is.
rationally they were freaking spies,
Yeah,
man.
something,
Yeah,
something.
yeah, because
The
that's rational.
yeah. The power then came back on a little later after the kids left.
See, this is the extra creepy stuff.
Throughout the next week, weird things happened in the house. 3 out of 4 cats went missing,
Oh.
and the fourth had been found dead in the pool of its blood.
Ooh.
The husband continued to have nosebleeds and finally went to the doctor where he was diagnosed with very aggressive skin cancer.
Which
Th-
is see,
There's that radioactivity.
well, yeah, I agree with that. And then, but you got to wonder, like, why was his nose bleeding because of skin cancer? It seems like it would be a different kind of cancer if your nose is bleeding. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I don't know.
Continue.
Uh, the legend even crossed bodies of water and landed in the Great Land of the UK.
Yeah, I told you they talked about this. This is the first time I've ever heard about this too.
This is in 2014. The Daily Star wrote 3 front page stories about sightings of the black-eyed children in the haunted pub of Staffordshire.
Wait, just in a bar?
I guess so.
Okay.
Ghost hunters who believed that the black-eyed children were extraterrestrials, vampires, or ghosts took these alleged sightings very seriously.
Vampires is a fun one. I mean, like, think about it. Like, maybe they use a little bit of the hypnotist to come in there. They're vampires. You got to come there. They need to be invited in for the vampire thing. I like that. You know what I mean? Like, aliens, I think, is probably the most likely if we were to take this by face value, right? Maybe the people coming to pick them up in that story were either other ETs or Men in Black, or
Maybe interdimensional.
interdimensional's cool.
It
Interdimensional's
could be
cool.
something like that. Just shit we just can't even fathom.
But I like vampires.
I like that too.
Because you know what? Like, vampires have been relegated to me as far as movies and literature and TV shows. But, like, as far as actual cryptids, as far as, like, if you're like, is Bigfoot might be real, like Nessie might be real. But nobody I can't say this for sure, but I believe nobody in modern day, let's say United States, is believing that vampires are real, right? For the most part.
I'm pretty sure if you polled, general consensus would probably be like, yeah, 80% don't believe.
Right? I'd say more
believe.
All I'm saying is
and
I
then
think
the rest are unknown.
more people would say they believe in aliens or Bigfoot than they would vampires. All I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I've said before on this podcast, that it's like you hear of these kind of similar cryptids, creatures like vampires and such in different cultures around the world throughout crazy different times of history. So
Well-
it's just like,
Well, I'm talking about the traditional vampire. Can't come out in the sun. I have 2 teeth. Because, like, if we're just talking about drinking blood, there's creatures in every mythology that, like, is a night stalker that feeds on human blood.
yeah.
So I'm not talking about, like, wide varieties of vampire. I'm talking about the traditional pale person, 2 fangs, intelligent, not creature.
sleeps in a coffin.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
I must move the coffin or the chandelier.
So I believe these black-eyed children are black-eyed vampire children.
Better than the black eyed peas. I hate those guys.
Actually, I'm
just kidding.
I got to be honest, I don't have a really strong opinion on the black-eyed
Neither
peas.
do I, honestly.
But
I
I
don't
will
hate
say
them.
they're classic, like they're obvious, like top 10 songs. Very good in editing film. So
Oh, there you go. There you go. Looks like I'm on
Like,
the.
I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night.
Oh, see, I
That
didn't even know that was them.
well, I'm just saying that's perfect for a montage of getting ready for, like, any kind of event as in, like, a teen movie or, like,
Yeah.
anybody who's like, "I'm gonna do something," or you could subvert expectations and have it be a weird mob thing where it's just, like, guys that are way too tough with this weird poppy song. So I'm just saying, from that standpoint, not bad. From a
Yeah.
listening in the car standpoint, no, no.
I think all that I know about them was from like the Andy, what was it, Galifianakis show, that really silly show, and he like had like the Black Eyed Peas on it, and it was ridiculous. That's literally all I know of their work.
I think Fergie's from Black Eyed Peas. I think she's the main chick.
Eh.
Eh?
I honestly don't know.
All right. Anyways,
All right.
Black-eyed children bees.
That's what I'm saying. Like this whole time, that's been on like the tip of my brain for some
I think
reason.
it was on a lot of people's, to be honest.
But anyways, all right. Here's the end here. Nowadays, people still claim to see the black-eyed children when driving late at night down an empty road, or outside of their window late at night, or even lurking in the shadows of their room.
Yeah, that's fucking horrifying. Of course, if you didn't invite them in, they're probably not in your room.
I'm gonna go ahead and say fuck that. Many people have reported seeing the black eyed children standing in the corner of their room during their episodes of, I was about to say, of sleep paralysis, or even waking up in the middle of the night because they sensed someone was watching them, and in the shadows were these children.
Okay, yeah, that's something else. I mean, there is totally things that can creep in your room, sleep paralysis, all that. That's a different phenomenon. That's not the black-eyed children. I'm just saying. Personal opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've heard a lot of things about people who have sleep paralysis. There's like different kinds. There's like the hat guy, the hat shadow man. There's the slammer, where it's like literally you're laying there on your back and like you can't move. And then there's a shadow man runs in like, and like it looks like he's wielding like a giant mallet, and he just comes and just slams like right into your torso. Like like there's literally different kinds of these sleep
There's
paralysis
also
shadow men.
the demon that sits on you, and that's why you can't get up. Like he's just sitting on your chest. And
I'm getting chills just talk like 'cause this shit always scared the
oh
shit out
well,
of me.
if you want, we could talk. We could talk about shadow people sometime soon.
Yeah, cause I know a few people who we'll have to put a poll out there if anybody's
Who's
experienced,
experienced
yeah,
this?
and see if we
Well,
can
a
get some
lot of people have
stories.
experienced sleep paralysis. There's only one time that I could remember actually having sleep paralysis and being afraid because obviously when you realize you can't move, it's horrifying.
I've had like sleep like crazy dementia, like where like I've like kind of sleptwalk,
Dementia?
like where like you sleepwalk, but like you're there, but you're not.
You're on
Like
autopilot. Yeah, yeah.
you're going crazy. Like when I was a kid, like if I ever took NyQuil, oh, I was trip walking. Like I was tripping, but I was awake, but I was, but it
You
no,
wouldn't remember any of it?
I kind of do. I kind
Huh.
of do. It's weird. It was like a weird kind of like
Well, that just sounds
sleepwalking.
like you got on too many drugs, bud.
I don't know. I don't know. It hit young Ryan pretty good.
All right. Well, guys, if you have any experience with black-eyed children, we would love to hear about it. Please hit us up on the Facebook or Instagram. And if you just want to talk more about it, we'd love to hear your thoughts. But from personally, one of my favorite phenomenons, I think because, like I said, it's mostly the United States. It's kind of a weird thing because that kind of calls into, well, maybe it's a government thing, right? Like maybe these are alien hybrids, and the people picking them up are Men in Black. That was always a fun theory.
That would make sense, right? So because they're just like wandering around doing their thing, causing trouble, getting seen, freaking people out,
Yeah.
disturbing the peace.
Yeah, well, maybe they escaped, or maybe the government let them out to see what happens.
Or it was just an accident. They just phased like through the wall or some shit. Like I said, interdimensional shit. We can't even fathom what the fuck it means. Like it's all mathematics and gravity and time. To exist in that, it would make no sense to us.
Yeah, or it's, I agree with you, by the way. If they are interdimensional beings, then phasing in and out can be very easily achieved. But also, Stranger Things, that's with 11, those experiments with kid stuff, there's always been talk about things like that existing,
The
and that
boys that was in that.
Firestarter, they did
Yeah.
that. Then not only
The
that, but
Institute. We
yeah,
talked about that book before.
but not just in entertainment, but in actual history. There's experiments that were done on people, terrible people, especially people who are minorities. I mean, they got the raw end of the deal with that. That's why a lot of friends I know don't trust the government for things like that.
Yep. I mean, that's how they used LSD to kill the president of the United States. That's how JFK got killed.
Okay,
The-
well that is a whole thing I don't
oh,
even
dude,
know.
that is a whole thing, and it's a real thing. Like if
I don't know, man.
I truly believe that. I truly believe that. Like, cause he had like no memory of the shit, and they were doing that kind of shit. They were teaching like Charles Manson how to use LSD to control people, and they were using that tactic on people
Oh,
like
this seems like a whole thing that if you want to unpack, we need to
was it
have
like
like
Lee
a.
Harvey Oswald,
I
right?
am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
I
There's so much.
I believe you, but that's like when you want to get me talking about 9/11. I mean, that I can go on for all the conspiracies with
Mhm.
that. So I one of these days we'll have a conspiracy episode
I think that'd be a good
and we'll
one.
just rant.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. And you know, and it's all in us. Like, we're not saying, "Oh, this is," and I know I just said that. That's what I believe. You know what I mean? Do I know 100%? Absolutely not. No one does.
Well, I do. I know 100% about everything. I've told you this, Ryan. I am omnipotent and you should never question me.
Yes, Joe is perfect. Is
Yes.
perfect.
I just want all of you to know. So,
Who is number one?
all right, guys. Well, you know what? I think that's a good segue. Let's jump into our next topic, Ryan's disclosure discussion. But hold on, we're gonna do the thing.
Ryan's disclosure discussion.
Welcome back.
Excellent.
Former NASA astronaut. Close encounter with 5 bright UFOs on his final spacewalk. This comes to us from UFOholic.com. Constructed and launched in 1998 at the cost exceeding 150 billion.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
sp-
Just a little bit.
Back then,
Yeah,
right?
just-
And think about it back then. That's 30 years ago. Holy
Just
shit.
a couple billion, man.
The space station is a collaborative effort involving NASA, Roscosmos, JAXA, ESA, CSA. I've never even heard of these guys. Serving as a microgravity and space.
We're gonna assume they're space programs from other
right from
countries.
around the world. Yeah, space environment research laboratory for astronauts. It facilitates a range of experiments conducted by these space agencies, sometimes inside the station or during extravehicular activities or EVAs.
Extra, like a car.
Extravehicular. Sorry.
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
No worries.
A peculiar incident in 2005 during Dr. Leroy Chow's last space mission left him bewildered and astonished.
The year we graduated high school.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We're old. After a 15-year career and participation in 4 space missions, Dr. Chow departed from NASA in December of 2005. His most notable assignment was as commander and NASA science officer for Expedition 10 on
Expedition 10.
not 9, 10.
10.
Ex-
Expedition 10.
They'll kick your ass.
Motherfucker.
on the International Space Station, where he spent over 36 hours of his 229 days in space conducting spacewalks.
Oh, that's it?
That's bad.
That's all he did? That's all he did.
So bad.
Couple spacewalks.
During an episode of NASA's Unexplained
That's
Files.
very impressive.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah, no, that is very
Can you
impressive.
imagine how hard, like, dude, rehabilitate? A lot of people don't understand the radiation that these astronauts are under.
They're exposed
The bone
with-
loss, the muscle loss, they have to go through intense therapy. A lot of them say they never truly feel back to 100% once they come back.
That's
Never.
insane, man. I mean, if you know it going in, like I guess that's the cost. But it makes you wonder about the people like like the Mars colonists that are supposedly going out there soon. I guess it's a little different because since they'll be on a planet, there'll be some gravity. It'll be a little bit less than Earth, but I guess, that might be enough to fight the atrophied, but they're still going to have the issue of radiation, I imagine. I mean, I know Mars has a thin atmosphere. Is the radiation
It'll help a
filtered
little.
out? Yeah.
It'll help a little, but that's like, I think we talked about it before. That put such like a damper on my hopes for space travel because we still really haven't figured out how to shield out that radiation in the same way that our atmosphere can.
Well, I mean, obviously, the thing is, like, we have radiation shields in our equipment, but the whole point is you get exposed still.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. Like I mentioned it before, but it's a great point. One of the astronauts that like was up there for a year, he had a twin brother. Their DNA was the exact same when he left. When he came back, his DNA was different. Like it had literally
It
altered.
altered.
Yeah, it altered his DNA. It was different from his brother's when he returned.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? Like the radiation changed him on like a fundamental level.
Yeah, like
Th-
molecular level. It's
You know,
fucked up.
that's how Fantastic Four started. I'm just saying, maybe this guy turns into the Thing.
Oh no, the Thing's never really happy with himself though. That's
Either are astronauts. You remember a few years ago that one
You're
woman
so right.
who was driving with a diaper because her husband or boyfriend broke up with her?
Oh my god.
Do you remember this?
No.
She did like a cross country thing and she like went on a rampage and she wore a space diaper doing it.
Space diapers.
I'm just saying. And you know what? That could be a very small part of the story, but when you hear she wore a diaper so she didn't have to stop, you tune in. You
It
tune
tends
in.
to take the forefront of the conversation.
Yeah.
All right. So during an episode of NASA's Unexplained Files, on the
Wait, is that like a show?
I guess so.
NASA Unexplained File. Yeah, it's totally a show.
Yeah, evidently it's
I
in
bet
quotes.
it's Netflix.
On the Science Channel, Dr. Chow
Science Channel.
recounted an experience from a spacewalk aimed at completing an experiment on the station. As commander for nearly 7 months, he and a cosmonaut, Selajan Sharapov, were tasked with the installation of navigation antennas. Situated 230 miles above the Earth and moving at speeds exceeding 17,000 miles per hour, Dr. Chow observed an extraordinary sight. Dr. Chow described witnessing a formation of lights in a line, and this is a reoccurring thing that I've seen before as well,
Yeah, the formation.
where they come in a line. Sometimes they go in a V.
I know, which is why I don't understand why people haven't come to the same conclusion I have. Ducks are aliens.
Ducks are aliens.
Yeah, there you go. You know, they say birds aren't real. No, they're real. They're fucking aliens.
Yeah, they're just aliens, and they're just like
science.
humans bake bread and give it to us in the park. We enjoy it.
Haha, we're slaves, man. You know when they say the Anunnaki made humans in order for us to mine gold for them so they could fix their atmosphere back in Nibiru? No, it's actually ducks and bread.
Step 1, get bread. Step 2, Step 3, profit.
Profit.
Dr. Chow described witnessing a formation of lights in a line, resembling an inverted checkmark, which swiftly passed by, leaving him in awe of the sight. Unfortunately, Sharapov, positioned in the opposite direction, missed this occurrence. Dr. Chow expressed the heightened sense of awareness and excitement, coupled with the stress of conducting a spacewalk, emphasizing the critical nature of the tether securing him to the station. He recounted seeing 5 lights in a linear arrangement, with one slightly out of alignment, which startled him as they zoomed past the station.
Oh, that ain't right.
What the heck is that? Aerospace historian.
Why do you always do that voice, the South Park guy?
Because he's Asian, so you got to do the Asian voice.
But he's not Asian.
His name is Dr. Chow.
His name is Dr. Janice, and he was Butler's therapist, and he suffers from multiple personality disorder. And one of those identities
the
happened
ultimate
to be
South Park switcheroo. Way to go, Joe.
I'm
I'm proud of you. Proud of you. Aerospace.
Because I remember that.
Yes, that was
Okay.
very well done. Very well, because you had me going. I'm like, I was about to correct you. I'm like, oh, he's right. Aerospace.
No, I am correct.
You are very correct.
Thank you.
You are infallible. In
Haha,
fact.
I told you earlier. Come, my minions, do my bidding and wash me laundry.
Call you Alanis Morissette. You are God. Aerospace historian Chris Orwell and former NASA engineer James Oberg, who was monitoring from Mission Control, were also mentioned in relation to this event.
And they were pissed.
During
Keep
his
me out of that shit.
Don't fucking mention my name, dude. During his recount of the dialogue, Mr. Oberg mentioned he reported that he just spotted 5 lights. He added, "When you see something in space, the possibility always that it can bite you your life might be on the line. Reflecting,
Fair enough.
I guess, reflecting on the potential dangers of unidentified phenomena in space. This episode was further explored in the Unexplained Files, which noted that the peculiar incident remained a puzzle for an extended period until a breakthrough was achieved by another associate from NASA. Intrigued by the event, James Smith, a former engineer at NASA, embarked on an investigation. He retrieved satellite imagery from the area surrounding Dr. Chow's mysterious sighting. These images corroborated.
Corroborated.
I hate that word. Dr. Chow's observations, yet the nature of what he saw remained unclear.
Exactly. Aliens.
It's aliens, dude.
It's aliens.
It's aliens, bro.
Which actually means ducks. Quack. Quack.
Quack.
Quack.
Okay.
Come on.
God damn it. Go, Bird!
I almost pulled him into a Mighty Ducks reference.
No, you did. You did. You succeeded, sir. Smith's thorough examination included reviewing the passive satellites, scrutinizing records of military Air Force exercises, all to no avail. He extended his search to terrestrial operations,
Terrestrial.
specifically examining the practice of using large light arrays by commercial fishing fleets in the South American waters for nighttime fishing.
They were trying to see if that was what he saw.
And we got a cool picture here of Leroy Chow giving the thumbs up outside during his spacewalk in the suit, which is pretty dope.
Yeah,
which is pretty dope.
Save that. We'll post it on our Facebook later.
Saving it now. That's a good image. Dr. Chow expressed acceptance of Smith's hypothesis, but remained intrigued by the potential for other unknown entities in space.
Okay, so he accepted it. He was like, okay, fine. It was boats in the water.
He was just basically saying that your theory could be correct because I don't know what the hell I'm saying. It was a good scientific response, I'd
Yeah,
say.
I guess you have to do that, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't know for sure. It's like, who can, you know? I have no doubt there is other life in the universe, but I don't think we've found each other yet. He pondered the reasons advanced civilizations have not made overt contact, sharing his thoughts with the Huffington Post. Subsequently, in 2016, Dr. Chow articulated on Space.com his belief in extraterrestrial life, spurred by the discovery of the exoplanet Alpha Centauri CB.
Alpha Centauri, I think, right?
Thank you. Orbiting Proxima Centauri. He criticized the notion of Earth's solitary existence in the cosmos as arrogant, and mused on the inevitability of life's
of there being life in other planets.
Right.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense
of
because
its emergence.
because
Yeah.
exoplanets that are Earth-like, they have water, they have atmosphere, they have gravity, they have everything that we would say is a place that we could go and actually interact with. It is stupid when you do the math of like all the billions and billions of planets out there that could potentially support life to think we're the only ones. I like the theory, and this is bullshit, by the way, but I like the theory that every one of them is Earth. Like if we went there, it's just basically an alternate universe. Like we actually just space is just actually alternate universes, like solar system and shit.
So original Star Trek was right.
Original
There's
Star
like a
Trek was
gangster
right.
planet. There's a cowboy planet.
There is a
Like,
cowboy and gangster planet because we have the sets, Ryan.
That's true. That's true.
Because they're already on the back lot, Ryan.
He's good. He's good.
It's a good observation.
Hey, I've seen things. I've seen things.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's
Yeah, pretty much, because that's pretty much where it comes out to is he's always, he's a believer, and
he
that's really
believes
cool.
in aliens.
It's good to hear from people who have been up there who believe in aliens, because I mean those are pretty credible. And this guy, I'd never heard of this story. This is a great story. So it's pretty cool that we have a UFO sighting.
I mean, dude, astronauts.
I've never heard of.
Yeah, I agree. Astronauts, they do. You ever hear about the cosmonauts who saw like the angels? Which they basically say
Yes.
outside their space station, they saw basically like winged glowing people.
I read the transcripts. He was like, "It's beautiful." Like he was like, they were like they couldn't stop themselves from just being in awe of its beauty, like how pretty it was.
So like, I don't know. It's weird to think that just right outside in space, like right outside, like what if there are just all these aliens who like it is straight up like Star Wars, like out there, and We don't know whether our government knows or not. We're not, maybe, or maybe they already have fucking spaceships, man. I remember watching Stargate and I missed a few seasons. When we jump back in, they had spaceships. And I'm like, the whole point of this show is you guys have a portal to go to different planets. When did we get traveling through different galaxies? Spaceships. Anyways.
Stargate is something I've only seen the original movie.
Oh my God.
I've never seen anything else.
Well, since
I
then,
heard the show's fantastic.
The show is fantastic. There is 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1. I believe the first 3 or 4 seasons were on, I don't know, maybe Showtime, but eventually Sci-Fi bought it and they did the latter half of the making of the show. And there was 2 spinoffs. There was Stargate Atlantis, which was 5 seasons, and then there was another spinoff that was Stargate Universe, which only lasted 2 seasons. And that's a shame because Stargate Universe, it was a very dark, heavy, like mature Stargate. Basically, they were trying to take their cues from Battlestar Galactica, which was very famous.
That's another one
very
that I've
popular
heard
at
is
that
good.
time.
I've never
Yeah.
seen one episode of Battlestar Galactica.
Well,
Nothing.
the new or old, I imagine, right?
None of it.
Very different tones. The new one, like I said, was really dark, which is why.
Which did you prefer?
I prefer the new one, but that's just because that was the first one I saw. But if you know anything about the lore of that show, it kind of implies that the other like it all happened and it's just cycles, like like everything happens over and over and over again kind of situation.
Linear time kind of thing.
Looped.
Looped,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it, when the world ends, it just restarts kind of thing. All right, guys. So I think that's it for Ryan's disclosure discussion.
Yeah, that's about all I got there. Thank you very much. I'm gonna see if I can't come up with some more stuff, but that was a find by Joe. Good find, dude.
Well, thank you. Earthling Entertainment headlines. All right, guys. So excuse me. There's this fun little thing that happened, and did anybody see the Marvels? Most people didn't.
I didn't.
Right. The Brie Larson stars. It is the new Marvel movie that just recently came out. I believe it was like Marvel's first flop. It didn't make a lot of money.
Was that the first?
Like official with financial flop, I believe so.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're right.
I'm
You're
not
right.
saying it was the best or worst movie or anything. Well, that being said, I actually kind of liked it. Miss Marvel, the TV show on Disney Plus, plays into it. If you want to know who the character, Makala Khan or something like that, I don't know. She's cool, but the reason why I bring it up is spoilers, by the way, for the Marvels. So if anyone doesn't want to know this, skip ahead and. I assume this is going to be a spoiler because most people haven't seen the movie. So at the very end, Monica Rambeau, which is the character who was in WandaVision, the African American woman. Okay. She was also the little girl in the first Marvels. She was the, like Brie Larson's homie, his daughter.
Like I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I've seen clips. I just haven't watched it.
Right on. Long story short, Monica Rambeau kind of sacrifices herself, Tony Stark style, and gets thrown into another universe.
Dang.
Yeah. And the big reveal at the end of that is she's being taken care of, and there's a doctor there and is talking. His voice sounds kind of familiar. And he says something like, Charles wants an update whenever you get a chance. And it's revealed that it is Beast. It is Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
Awesome. My favorite.
Right. All right. So that's kind of fun. But this reason why I bring it up is the actress who plays Monica Rambeau apparently had no idea that was going to happen. Like it was when they filmed it, it was just some actor. And, so she saw it in theaters with everyone else just being like, holy shit. Like she had no idea.
It's so funny. I hear more and more stories like that where like, as an actor, you really have no fucking clue what the movie is going to be until you finally get to see it yourself.
Well,
with everybody
there's so
else.
many changes with
Yeah.
scripts that happen. And since a lot of it's shot in front of a green screen, you could like record a whole battle scene where you're fighting a particular bad guy and then have it later to where it's like a flashback and it's like 40 years ago and it was like your ancestor and you're fighting a completely different creature. And you're like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's so, yeah, it's weird, right? And I mean, it goes back as far as Star Wars, like no one knew other than Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill had to keep that a secret until like the movie came out.
Are you referring to I Am Your Father?
I am. Spoiler alert. It's only
For those of you who don't know, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Holy crapto.
No! No!
That's not how you do it, son. You do it like this. No!
The best no in cinematic history. That's enough, Lord Vader. Shut the fuck up, Lord Vader. I'll bitch smack you. No wonder Padme died. You're insufferable.
Oh.
That was my best.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's kind of mean. Like at this
He's
point,
the fucking emperor.
I
He's
know,
gonna be
but
mean.
he needs to be tender in this moment, you know, because he's gonna like lure him in for good. It's kind of like an abusive relationship, you know. You punch him in the eye, then you buy him some pie.
Oh no!
Yeah, shit gets dark on Star Wars, man.
It does, man.
The
So
Emperor.
that's why he wears the helmet.
You know what else is creepy though? In order for him to have a granddaughter, that guy got down. So that means there was somebody who was so much like, yeah, I'll fuck royalty. I don't care how he looks. Or
Maybe when he was a senator.
he was creepy and was like, you do me.
before Darth Plagueis the Wise corrupted him to the dark side, he was just a politician.
I mean, he was kind of old, right?
Yeah,
so,
he was
like,
already older.
He was already older. So yeah, okay, fair enough. He could have had kids by that point. I wonder, you know what? Speaking of episode 1, the first time we see him as a human. Well, I guess he was always a human. He just goes Sith. Anyways, 25th anniversary this year.
Of
Phantom Menace.
Oh wow.
This is the 25th anniversary.
Oh my god.
That blows your mind, doesn't it?
Wow. That's insane, man.
Yeah.
Well, that movie was, it was so impactful for us. Like I loved it. Like I love Jar Jar Binks. I gives no fucks. I thought he was the shit.
You know, it was kind of sad because the books that are considered canon, they actually said what happened to Jar Jar
I
Binks.
know. It's
Yeah.
sad. I know the story. It went viral.
Oh, yeah. So apparently, for those of you who don't know, in, I believe, the second book in the Aftermath trilogy, Jar Jar Binks is revealed to be basically a street mine that everyone hates and they kind of kick around and nobody really likes him. And he explains that basically he really screwed up once by, giving power of the Senate to Palpatine, that everyone just fucking hates him.
Misa proposed.
Yeah, sad story, man.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and they just like ran into him randomly. Like they literally like bumped into him. They're like, "Fucking Jar Jar,"
well, I just
and he's like homeless, just on the street begging for money.
yeah, things were
begging for
rough for him.
credits.
Things were rough for him. But the guy who played
You Sawana HJ. 20 credits.
I just need enough for Misa need enough for death sticks.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh, now I have a prostitute Jar Jar in my head. All right.
Okay.
Well, we have another story for you, and Ryan, if you will.
Here we go.
So,
this is going to come to us from Nerdist.com. The Rings of Power Season 2 shares a release window.
nice.
The Rings of Power Season 1 swept onto our screens in the summer of 2022, and it made quite an impact. In fact, at Nerdist, we felt it was one of the best shows of the year.
A lot of people disagree. I liked it. You did not like it.
I didn't hate it, but yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, for a lot of people, it's just they didn't think it felt like the movies.
It's not what I wanted. It's like, I'm sure that you told me it covered all the lore, it explains, that Gandalf's basically a freaking god. And
Well,
all
I
these
mean,
other things,
the
like-
Silmarillion and a lot of the other books that weren't like books, they were basically notes that were put into books, give a lot of information that the Rings of Power is based on, although it's like bullet points. So they filled in a lot of gaps. They took a lot of liberties. Continue.
Yeah, and like I said, it wasn't my feel. There are people who love that kind of shit. Not for me. But anyways.
Yeah, fair enough.
So although we are still thinking about season 1 of the show, things are already ramping up on season 2 of Rings of Power. Rings of Power didn't exactly leave us on a cliffhanger, but we are still on the edge of our seats.
They revealed who Sauron is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although we
See, a lot of people are thrown because at this point in history, Sauron has like a human form. Like he's not a monster. He's actually damn sexy. And that's not them making it up. Like that's in the books. Like he's actually known for because he is godly. He is like not human. He is godly. So he does look like a chiseled, like handsome bloke.
is he
And then
like
that's part of it. Like he kind of like the devil. Like he can seduce you into thinking it was your idea.
is he like a hybrid human, kind of like Aragorn?
No. So, long story short, there's the god Ilivate, I think he's called, and then there's the Velnar, and they're like the angels, and then like there's the people under that, and that is pretty much the level that like Sauron and Gandalf are at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And to be honest, it's if you give me a minute to actually look shit up, I could be very clear with that, but that is bullet points.
Ah, you know way more than me, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
So although we don't have an exact date for the Rings of Power season 2 yet, we do have a firmer release window. A release shared news of an overall Amazon MGM deal struck by the Rings of Power showrunners Patrick McKay and JD Payne. Also noted that Payne and McKay were showrunners of season 2 of the Rings of Power, which is expected to debut later this year.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're like, it's the third or fourth quarter, so
So
it's gonna
this
be
year.
like the fall, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably November. I believe the first season was like a November release, I believe.
So, yep, it says a strong indicator that it will arrive in 2024. What later this means specifically, we do not yet know.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all for the article. But you know what? I do like the Rings power, like we said, but here's something that bothers me about season 2. Is season 1 they shot in New Zealand just like the movies. Even though it may have not felt exactly there, like, it's a different guy shooting it or girl shooting it. It's a different, art director, so it can't look the same. But the point is now they're shooting it in England to save money. And I don't live in the United Kingdom. I believe there is many different landscapes that'll probably look just like Middle Earth and we won't even notice. But it worries me because you shoot them all in New Zealand and you shoot now in England. Is it going to feel the same?
Well, I mean, but you did say it's like thousands of years of difference between Frodo's time and
Oh, yeah.
this. So, I mean,
Like the continents change.
so there you go.
Yeah.
So then I guess it makes sense that they would go somewhere different.
All right, fine. I'll let you go.
I'll let you. I'll let you off the hook, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's fine.
This comes to us from GameRant.com. Pokemon Legends ZA. 6 ways it could be Game Freak's most ambitious game yet. Pokemon Legends ZA already has a huge weight of expectation on its shoulders, as many fans believe it could be Game Freak's most ambitious release. Game Freak has been the lead development team for the Pokemon franchise ever since the first games in the series were released in 1996.
Oh, really? So it's always been them?
Yeah, it's always been Game Freak. It's that little symbol with like the little like sparklies that go by it. It's been the same thing for years.
All right, credible.
This team has overseen every Pokemon game that has ever been released since. This includes all the main series games and spin-off titles. Every one of these new games has added something new to the franchise, but the Pokemon Legend Arceus game was by far the most ambitious thing the developers had worked on so far in the Pokemon world. With the recent announcement that a sequel to this game is coming in the form of Pokemon Legend ZA, many fans of the series are expecting this to be the most ambitious game, and this is for several reasons. Urban development. The trailer for
Urban
Pokemon
development, like they have really good cities.
in the trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA include a number of moments that got fans talking. It was revealed that this game would be returning to the Kalos region, and that the Mega Evolution feature will be returning, which is like the best feature they ever did.
That was what in the last game that happened?
That was a few generations ago. It was called a Mega Evolution, and it literally like certain Pokemon could Mega Evolve, and they become like a whole different, like more bad. Like
they go Super Saiyan.
Yeah, they change form and everything, and it's crazy. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, so they just found a way to cook it up a notch.
Yeah, like literally a whole new, but it only lasts for the battle. So that's what. So you Mega Evolve them, and then when the battle's over, they just go back to normal.
Yeah, so it's Super Saiyan.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Mega Evolution will be returning. However, there's a small detail in the trailer that many fans missed. Part of the text that talks about Lumio City and also says the words urban development plan. Lumio City is the heart of the Kalos region. So many players expected it to return, though it may not look like the city that we saw because this is from X and Y. The fact that urban development is mentioned suggests that Lumios is only just being built or is about to receive a major expansion. Therefore, Game Freak could have this city slowly growing in the game as players progress through the story. This is unlike anything the series has attempted before and is constantly evolving as part of open world, adds a lot of replayability to these games.
Well, that is kind of cool. Like, so throughout the game, the city would grow and change. I mean, that's something that, yeah, I have to admit, I play a lot of video games that I personally haven't seen. I
It-
don't think so.
It says here there's going to be new megas. So that means what I was just mentioning before, there's going to be new mega evolutions. And I honestly, I'm not going to read this whole article because it's really wordy, but let me say, I just wanted to mention it because I'm really excited for this. This is coming out next year. The first one, Pokemon Legends Arceus, in my opinion, was the Pokemon game that little me dreamed
As a young
of.
Ryan
Like,
Lang.
I dreamed of it because they always were like, don't go into the grass, it's dangerous. And I'm like, no, it's not. You just throw out a Pokemon, whatever. In this game, no. The Pokemon will straight up, they even come out. If you get too close to the grass, they'll chase after you and you got to run, or you got to actually turn and physically aim and throw your ball at them to initiate a fight. And it's like, it's actually like, it's really
They've made it
immersive.
real, right? So
it's
all the
3D,
things you
yeah.
fantasized about while playing the game as a kid and on Red and Blue, now it's like you actually get to like see it.
I always and they give you these cool challenges like catch 12 oddish, catch 12 oddish at night, catch, you know what I mean? And then when you complete all these things that give you like bonus shit, and it's like I've never felt like I've ever wanted to, and they have it set up in a better system where you can just catch Pokemon all day. Like, so I've never
I
actually
mean, that
felt
is
like
something that I've just wanted
gotta
to
catch
do.
them all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you always say, but it's like in the game, you don't. You catch a few, you find ones that are good, and then you're just leveling them up. So you're really not catching, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day. So that's why I felt that these Legends games were really true to what the what it promised from the start. Like, they really achieved something. So, this is gonna be great. Like, I'm really into this.
I mean, it sounds really cool.
Oh.
I'm excited for you. I mean, my game that I've been waiting for just came out, and that was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a PlayStation exclusive for at least a few months. Great game. So Final Fantasy VII came out in 1997. They remade it, and they're doing it into 3 parts. So this is the second part. And unlike the first one, which was pretty linear and kept you within the steampunk city of Midgar, now we are in the open world setting, and we get to do a lot of the meat from the original game. And a lot of things are reimagined, but it is good. I'm enjoying it. That's for damn sure.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I think so.
How many installments does that have?
So if we're not all right, so the first one came out in 1997, and it is just its own game. Now, when they're remaking it, they're making it into a trilogy. But they've also re-released a prequel game that originally was on the PSP. It was called Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and that stars Zack, which is a character who is deceased by the events of Final Fantasy VII. Now, they've re-released that as well, I believe, in 2022, and it's called Final Fantasy, I don't know, Reunion, I think, Crisis Core, and that once again stars Zack. I'm hoping there's another spin-off, and it was like Devil May Cry gameplay hack and slash, where you play as the character Vincent, and it was a PlayStation 2 exclusive. Most people didn't like it. I don't know if it'll ever come out and remaster, but that would be fun. So the short
Never
answer.
played, I never played a single one of those.
Hold on. Also, there is a prequel, no, not prequel, a sequel film that came out in the early 2000s, and that is a sequel to the 1997 film, and that is called Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Now, that is a sequel to the original events of the game, but this remake is kind of an alternate universe, so it does not apply to the post of this new series.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
'Cause
everybody knows that.
Because JRPGs are nonsense, and they're really hard to keep track of if you are not from that area and used to storytelling that convoluted.
Like I said, I know nothing. I couldn't tell you a darn thing about Final Fantasy. I know nothing. Other than the one guy's got a big sword.
Yeah, the Buster Sword. Yeah. I liked Final Fantasy VIII. The guy had, it was like a cowboy 6-shooter, but it had a blade on it.
No, one guy's name is Cloud.
Yes, he is from Final Fantasy VII. He's the main character.
That is all I know. But that's pretty much all I've got in the video game segment here for today that I'm excited for. Other than the fact that I'm still playing Hogwarts Legacy and it's fun as hell.
Abracadabra, motherfucker.
Avada Kedavra!
Well, I think we just have one last topic for today's show, man.
Yeah, and I have like one little thing I want to talk about after this. But yeah, first let's cover this. This is also comes to us from Nerdist.com. This is House of the Dragon Season 2 sets June 2024 release window.
And all right, I'm excited because I did not think it would come this quick. Because I mean, when the first
I
season
heard great
ended,
things.
oh man,
I
because
never saw it.
you watched all the Game of Thrones, but you didn't watch House of the Dragon yet.
No, I don't know why. I just never got around to it.
Well, you owe it to yourself if you want that little extra bit of Game of Thrones. Because yes, you have to meet all new characters for sure, but you know the world and you know the
Yeah.
families.
Yeah.
So it's everything you want. If you wanted more of that show.
I heard just coupled with a lot of uncomfortable childbirth.
Well, there's just the first episode. It was straight up rough with the whole baby not making, wife not making. It's rough, right? And at the time, Lizzie was pregnant, and we're about to have a kid. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Why am I watching this?
Lovely. But okay, so yeah, I do want to watch it. I watched Game of Thrones all the way through twice. I've given it through 2 runs, so here we go. House of the Dragon's first season flew in with all the drama, shocking moments,
All the drama.
and of course, dragons that fans expect from this universe.
Well, it's called House of the Dragons. If you didn't put dragons in it, you'd be kind of a dick.
Indeed. Season 1 took us back many decades before Daenerys Targaryen's birth
200 years.
to show us the events leading to the decline of the mighty house of House Targaryen. Now we are fully locked into the fury that Rhaenyra will reign upon her former BFF, Alicent, and her supporters after Jace's death. What does the future hold for these warring factions? Warring? Gosh darn.
Yeah, you are tired, apparently.
I'm apparently in some sort of thing today.
It's like these warring factions. Ryan's like, these wearing fashions.
They're wearing fashions. Shall see.
Don't worry, man. We're almost done for this week. You can do it. You can make it through.
We shall see what happens in this upcoming season. And I get stumbled up by names, and I don't know these characters, so like I'm reading these names for the first time. But anyways,
well, they're just going to talk about the show, so we could just end it there. The point is, it's coming out in June.
But yep, no, that's all that. Yeah,
you can keep reading if you want. I feel like I disappointed you.
No, I was about to say. It says recently we learned even more specific time frame for when we might expect the series' second season to arrive. House of Dragon season 2 will release in June, according to Variety.
June.
I love the June. Yes. What the fuck, Joe?
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
I haven't played with the buttons today, so.
All right. Oh, and it's got a thing about the plot, but I'm not going to read that because F that.
Not gonna read the plot. Not gonna read the plot. He's a little bitch.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week's Earthling Entertainment. Thanks for listening. Once again, please download the episodes. Downloading the episodes is the best way to support us. But all of us here from Earthling Entertainment, we'll see you next week. And see ya!